Welcome once again to the Lucha Lounge. Yes, I know it's been a few videos since I've done one of these, but I figured, hey, plenty of people have asked about footage. Did I have any footage? I finally have the capability of putting out footage, so that's what I'm doing. But there's also a guy on here. He's actually one of my guys I've subscribed to, and I have plenty of his videos as my favorites. It's MPW. I don't know the exact numbers, but the link is there. If you go to his channel, you'll see not just videos of mine, but you'll see videos of a lot of other guys throughout the local Texas indie scene and through the Dallas-Fort Worth area mainly. But he has a lot of PCW footage, a lot of NWA Southwest footage. Go check him out or subscribe to my favorites, because anytime I see any of my footage, I try to put it as my favorites because I like to have my footage. So, but with that, I figured that I would take this time to go as far as what I was thinking in relation to the footage that I've put out there. And the last 3 videos that I have done are in relation to Heroes to Legends, which is PCW's pay-per-view shows, or we call them pay-per-view shows, but they're more or less DVD taped shows, or shows that would be taped for DVD distribution. And if you go to PCWWrestling.com, they have videos out there from far back and up until their most recent stuff. So go check them out. There might be some footage you might like, or you might see some guys that you like up there. But now on to what got me thinking about even putting that series 2003, 2004, 2005. Actually, it was what got me started was the Sabu footage. I've always wanted to put the Sabu footage out there for people to see. Around early November, it was the 4-year anniversary since I had faced him, and I thought, wow, why not start there? Why not start off with a bang? And really, for me, that match was memorable in a lot of ways because prior to breaking in, Sabu was a guy that I really looked up to, idolized. I found him to be an innovator in the hardcore genre, a guy who could make hardcore into a serious art form. No 2 matches of his were the same, and his feud with Taz was such a big draw for ECW, and he was one of ECW's originals. I mean, I don't have to go over the credentials. Plenty of people can, spout out his resume a lot better than I can. But I thought, when I was approached about facing him, I was the light heavyweight champion for PCW, and in actuality, I turned that belt into the sexy weight belt. Because I really didn't feel like I was a light heavyweight. I'm a 6'1", 225-pound guy, and I felt like the light heavyweight were for guys who were lighter than me and smaller than me. But they had given me that title. I turned into sexy weight title. I made something out of it. Tried to entertain as much as I could, and finally I got approached by the head writer that I was going to be facing Sabu. And I was very stoked, to say the least, to face a guy that I really idolized. But my mindset going into it was that I wanted to prove to the office, I wanted to prove to the boys in the back, and I wanted to prove to myself and the fans, as well as to Sabu, that I could at least toe-to-toe kind of go with this guy. And that I wasn't nervous, and that I felt that I was a part of that. That it was my time, that you could put me against a name or a guy who had a name in the business, and I would give you a quality match. And it wouldn't just be because of what he brought to the table, it would be because of what I brought to the table. So 2003, Heroes to Legends, it was a big match for me because of that. It was a chance to showcase in front of a name, in front of a large audience, one of our larger audiences, because Sabu brought in a lot of people on his name alone, regardless of who the opponent was. And it was also an opportunity for me to show that I could go with it. And completely honor someone I truly respect, and I could go on and on and on, and at some point maybe I will, but got to move on to 2004. 2004 was different for me. They didn't really have an opponent for me, and I was television champion at this time. And they wanted the belt defended, but they really didn't know who my opponent was going to be. And JustinIIFine, who does a gay gimmick, and if you met him, you would wonder if the line's blurred or not. But he was kind of a guy who came in and out of the business, out of the company, out of PCW, but I was cool with it. It was a way of showcasing what I had. It was a very big crowd, especially for not having any sort of established name on the show. And getting Georgeous George from WCW fame, Macho Man's ex-girlfriend, ex-valet, was just luck. She was showing up to promote WrestleCon, and she was also showing up to in the city just to promote WrestleCon and promote another show. And we just so happened to the writer just kind of said, "Hey, we've got this one guy. It would really add to the match. What do you think?" And we met, and she was on board. It was great. The only problem was, like I said, I'm facing a gay character, so we couldn't really utilize her as much as we'd hoped. And really, it was just such a last-minute thing. I mean, literally, she came in, and within 15 or 20 minutes, we went from she's in to her getting dressed and getting ready to let's go. So we really didn't get a chance to really cover anything that we wanted to do with her, and what a shame. But at the same time, it was great to have her out there, and really a personal feather in my cap, and all of that. And I threw in the thing with Lance Hoyt at the end, because that was kind of a big wow, you know, Lance Hoyt back from TNA. I think he was Dallas at that point, and he was a tag team champion, and so on and so forth. So I threw the choke slam and all that just to show, hey, it doesn't matter even if you go over. At some point, you know, someone bigger comes along. Heroes to Legends 2005 was completely different in so many ways. I was coming back from an injury, really didn't know if I was going to come back. If you've seen the cage match between me and Tim Storm from Sick and Twisted 2005, it's actually one of my favorites. If you look for it, I had been injured that entire match. I was injured prior to that match. I came in just really more or less at about 70%. That really didn't help. That kind of match didn't really help. But I was coming back from an injury, feeling semi-good, and they really wanted to bring me back and to see where we could go with it. And you saw, I mean, being a ref, especially special guest, there's really not a whole lot that you can do. I was trying to be a guy who's going to call it down the middle and give the fans kind of a true representation of who was going to be the champion. And then, of course, I did the big turn. I was a big face at that point, big heroes welcome, and then to turn on who they deemed their champion at that point, which was Lance Hoyt. Me and Lance went on to have a program and a feud. We had a feud for about 18 months. I mean, this was kind of the continuation and whatnot. So there you go. There were 3 matches, so this was kind of quick, and I really wanted to cover as much as I could. Sorry if I didn't go in too much detail. I will try to do better in the future. I know that the next video that I probably will upload will be either a resolutions, because my birthday's coming up. Actually, it is Sunday. Or I will put out a video for another show that I did, PCW Sick and Twisted 2004, which happened in September of that year. And the difference with it is there will actually be music, and I've kind of created a highlight package because it was a very long match, and YouTube only allows about 10 minutes. So again, I appreciate everyone's views. I appreciate everyone subscribing. I appreciate everyone's comments, questions, anything. Ask. I will certainly start doing a Q&A hopefully soon. Please send me messages if you want me to do an actual Q&A, and I will answer whatever questions come out. Again, I appreciate everyone. Stay cool, stay classy, stay sexy. But you know it. You're already in the Lucha Lounge.